Pete.
Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. And with me today, we have our voice of reason, reality check master, Tiffany Meeks.
Hey guys, how you doing? Long time no see.
We're back. On the right of me, if you're watching on twitch.tv/Miami Heat Beat on stream, we have the great Siobhan. Siobhan, how are you this wonderful evening?
Hello, people. I am good. I am alive. I am up off the floor. So it's a good day.
We are up off the floor. We're here. We have so much to talk about today. And I haven't done a show in about 2 months. I went on vacation in Europe. It was wonderful and fantastic. I got home and I was fucking sick. Not with COVID. I got COVID right before I went to Europe, which is great for me. My first time getting it, I tested negative the day before I flew. Yippee me. And I got home, and to give you some clarity, I tweeted this out. I was having a lot of dizzy spells, and I was having problems with my vision. I literally couldn't see well. I felt like I was going to faint at all times. I had splitting headaches and dull headaches all day. It was pretty scary. All's good with my brain, although some of you may argue otherwise. But, we're back. I feel better. I worked out today and yesterday and the day before. So, hopefully we're good to go. But yeah, I'm back. We're back. We're ready to talk about lots of things. Alf says in chat, I finally tested negative for COVID. Please clap. Shout out to Mr. Hangover Time himself. And we got a lot to catch up to. I missed you, chat. I love seeing all the faces and names that I've missed. You guys are great, but we have basketball to talk. So
let's get it.
I mean, I listen. So again, that pretense. I haven't been around in a while. There's so much I missed. I want to kind of go through the last events, the current events of the free agency, because I missed everything. Tiff, PJ Tucker left?
I mean,
the fuck?
Listen. He packed up his shoes.
All 800 of them?
And bounced.
He must have been doing that all season, because there's a lot of shoes.
Listen, for what it's worth, let's, while we loved having him, and he was a great addition. But let's be realistic. Like, what else do you want in life? He's got the ring. He's essentially made money.
Right.
He wants to play with his friends. He's that high school kid that if he has to pick, he's picking his friends.
He's like 60,
win or lose. Huh?
He's like 60, though.
Listen, he got a last hurrah. Let him have his last hurrah over there.
Right.
Because that incline is coming. So let him have that last hurrah over there.
Bond, what are the Heat going to do at the 4?
Listen, so I got a 15-year-old coming up. She's really good. And I just feel like, if we keep the eye out, maybe by the time she's ready to, be here, we can give her a foul. I don't know. I don't know.
I was going to ask, can she shoot?
Well, hey.
Yes, she can. Just make her a good pass.
Whose season is it? What have I been saying in the chat?
It's Highsmith season, baby. What are you talking about? It's Haywood Highsmith season.
That's it.
Listen,
I don't like the sound of that.
You're like,
I like the sound of it more than fucking Caleb. Caleb season.
If you got Caleb at the 4 for 20 minutes, you might as well have me at the 4 for 20 minutes.
Don't get Duncan at the 4. That's the Alf propaganda machine.
At this point, I will take Duncan at the 4 before Caleb, and I love Caleb.
Right.
And feelings on Duncan is mixed, but goddamn it, I don't know what we're gonna do it for. We're still, our hat is still in some of these whale rings. Apparently,
it's not a hat. That is a scarf.
Okay, the little tassels at the end of the scarf.
Yes.
You one of those whales, got some length to him, and I think there could be some interesting things done with him at the 4. But that aside, it's Caleb, I guess it's Haywood. He has put on some weight. He looks pretty good in some of the summer league action. He has a bit more size to him, but right now, I mean, it's your 7 season, it's Haywood season, and that might be where we at right now.
But you know what?
Not for nothing.
All jokes aside, not for nothing.
I want to see
if this is what you got, right?
Yep.
And it's a pick 'em, because this is what you got, and it's a pick 'em. I am not trying to see Jimmy at the 4. No. Unless it's the playoffs and they got exposed running something special. So you're taking him completely out of the mix. And if you look at what you got left, this is it. So
Yeah,
it is either Highsmith, Caleb,
Love or Yurt.
or
Chat
you or
saying Darius Days, somebody we
Yeah, I
signed.
like that though. I did
Uh,
like some of these.
well,
I,
let's just yeah, but I need to see more. I just
right,
need to see more, so I'm
right.
not bringing him up yet.
I
I'm
like
just talking about
Orlando
who's
too.
already
Shout
in the
out
mix.
to Orlando Robinson from the
Right.
same league team.
So
Need to see him do more also.
it okay, so let's frame it from who we have. Let's just say this is what we got, right? And this is what we roll into the season. Realistically, it's not like a position where you're looking for 30 points.
No, it isn't.
You need somebody that can hit an open jumper, stretch the floor a little bit. You need solid defense. Are they going to be great? None of these people are great defenders we're talking about, but can they be solid? This is what you hope for because it's unrealistic to just sit and pine for a Kevin Durant. You want to? Yeah. Are you going to get him? You don't know. So you talk about what you already have in house. And in house, you have a couple of decent options. That's all you need until you can make a move. You need somebody who will bend and won't break at the four until you can make a move. That's
And
just
we've
what
been
you
listen,
talking about that too. To my bad, G. And
no,
whoever you have down there, that's a like that plays with who you have at the front of
yes,
your
and that's
locker
the
with
other
your
thing.
2-3 area. So
Right.
like they
So if
got
you're
some.
starting Yurt, let's say you're doing the two quote unquote bigs, Bam and Yurt, right? Let's just say
Okay.
you're doing that. There's no way on God's green earth, on Oprah's internet, you're starting a backcourt of Kyle and Tyler because you've got way too many holes on the floor now to plug up for Bam. Because that's
Yeah, I
essentially who does the hole plugging when
yeah,
it comes to the baseline, the back line, and the switching. So
yes.
that second guard is dependent upon who's starting at the four.
It's a
so
lot.
chat saying Jovic, Tevin Durant, who we have Jovic at home.
I want to see him. He would,
I
didn't
mean,
play
I
the
want to
last
see
three.
him. I
Right.
don't want to see him at the detriment of the team.
Or
Like
himself.
You guys
he
are
ain't ready.
very, you guys are very. You got to prove it to me with these young guys.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and yes.
But that's how sports work. You have to
Yeah.
prove that you can stay on the court. Like that's just how it works.
Their situation is precarious because while they have not great options at four, right? They have this Jovic kid, they have the Darius Days kid, they have Highsmith, they have obviously Jimmy, who I'm sure will play for this season. I don't envision him being a starting four. I'm sure that he'll say he could do it, but I don't think that's probably for the best for all the reasons of
No.
the physicality and the toll that it'll
Uh-huh.
take. Um, I don't think Caleb is the answer either. I think he works more as stretches as a backup four. And I think Jimmy at the four and Caleb at the four is a weapon for them in certain kind of lineups, but not to start.
Weaponry, right?
Yeah.
Specialty lineups, not like this is my baseline.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's part of your kit. It's not your, main, it's not your system.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that I think that question that I asked in this conversation that we had, I think is the most important one of this offseason. And I think it's the one that frames the entire offseason. And it begs the question. And again, I know that we're rehashing shit that's a month old, but let me catch up. I have takes. Uh, they lose PJ, and it doesn't appear that they had many backup plans. Now the market's
Right.
not great, and I think that and listen, while Twitter wants one thing, and I'm sure that some of it may deserve a look, I think we know historically the way Spo likes to play basketball, and they like a wing next to Bam. Whether you think Bam's a four or not, I think Spo views him a certain way, and they are looking ideally for a PJ, a Jay Crowder, a whatever they thought Mo Harkless could be, Ariza. You know what I mean? That wing at the four, and that there weren't a lot available, which just begs the question, Siobhan. Were they blindsided?
So I don't know. I don't know if
Did they
it
think he
kinda-
was coming back, and then they had, or was it just the market sucked, and they're like, we're just not going to pay this guy the third year?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't. It may have been some of, but I felt PJ felt pretty locked into me. just by the way that the front office, Pat and Spo, just by the type of words that they were using to talk, like they called PJ like a linchpin, like a young UD, someone like a cornerstone, right? So it never really felt like PJ being gone was something that uh, I don't know. I just didn't expect it coming. I didn't expect to see it. I guess the third year was the hang up, and there's
Well, it was
maybe something.
not to cut you off,
What?
but just to amend, it wasn't just the third year. It was if you use the full mid level, you are hard capped, and
Boom. Okay.
there and part of it is that they're trying to avoid repeater tax because they are going to be a tax team at some point, and the repeater
Yeah.
tax was so just to clear up the cap reasons why they could not offer the full mid level.
Love it. And so like Tip said, he went and got the full of what he could have been offered. Kind of somewhere else. And we talk a lot about, I guess, or in ways we talk a lot about how it is that we think Spo sees a BAM, or what it is that we think that they think of their, kind of front line or whatever. And, I don't know what Spo and Pat's big board looked like. I don't know how they felt about the other prospects, but um, and we don't know that Nicola plays this season, that he is contributable. I think he maybe could by the mid of the season, but I was saying that in the beginning, need to see more from him, of course. But um, I like they went out and intentionally drafted, or like they went out and got someone that was intentionally large. Like Nicola isn't a play around big. He's 7 foot, right? They
He's
the
listed
Orlando
6'10",
six,
but
cool. The Orlando Robinson, right? That was a pretty immediate kind of two-way sign, or whatever it is that they signed him to, and I think he uh, was deserving of it. I think he had a really good summer league showing, but like it's felt like whatever little, I guess, pieces or additions that have come to the team through the offseason, they've been like substantially large, and so I don't know if that's indicative of maybe going a different route, and being intentionally kind of larger, under the basket, or if we continue to see that no, the moves that they value maybe midway through the season will yield a return, someone like a Jay Crowder, like a PJ. I don't know. Um, it did feel kind of like surprising that PJ was gone, and then Caleb was like wrapped up with the numbers and whatever that he got. I don't know if that any of that could have gone elsewhere. Again, I'm not a cat person, but um, I'm really, I think what you said is correct. Like a lot of whatever happens like going forward with this season, I do think has a bit to do, a big amount to do with the four spot.
I think what Siobhan said, Tiff, is really important in
Mm-hmm.
about Jovic, about
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's ready midseason or not. And I think a lot of times today, fans have expectations of guys being ready like right away. And I think part because a lot of guys are ready right away, especially American players who come up through AAU and all that. And you guys have played, in this country, at high levels. So I think kind of the level of preparation and everything. And I think sometimes guys come in and they're just not ready, and that's okay. I think Bam was a good example of a guy who was a project and who look how he blossomed. Shout out, by the way, to Wow It's Bobby for the 10 tier 1 sub. Shout out to Alf, who
Oh,
gave 6 earlier. I see y'all. I love the support. It feels good to be back with our people to do our show. But yeah, Tiff, I like what Bond said there, because I think that kind of when you start raising expectations, and we saw it with Tyler,
mm-hmm.
it just, I don't think that's the best for these guys. Justice is another example. We
Right,
were guilty of that too. Like I think making sure that these guys have a good environment that they can
right,
improve incrementally
right,
and not right away is important.
right. Well, I think the one thing is that, well, two things can happen and also be true. Um, while these young guys do have a lot of pressure to be good, the Heat do put them in positions to succeed. Like
Yes.
that's, I won't take that away from them. They like, they gave Tyler the opportunity to start at one point. That was okay. You say you're ready, so let's go out and do it. They tried it. It didn't work. They moved him back to the bench. Um, Caleb looked great this year, barring injury. Like he didn't look this good in Charlotte. Like they do put them in good positions. I think one of the things I noticed with Nicola, um, Slim Nicky as I call him,
Listen,
I watched two summer league
Can we make
games.
that a thing?
yep, boom, started
That's
Slim
what I
You
call him.
heard
I
it
call
here,
him
Brass.
Slim
Yeah.
Nicky. um, he wasn't getting the ball.
he wasn't
So there are
hard
also
to
things that are
judge.
out of your control as a player. He's a player that's used to having the ball. So now he's being moved and now he's becoming a manufactured four,
Tiff, we
if
talked
you
about,
will.
not to cut you
Right?
off. We talked about his
So
presser a bit too. He had really kind of interesting comments in some of
yeah.
his pressers. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing as to if you're used to having the ball and now you're having to play off ball and play a whole new position where you have to wait because it's a guard league. So you got to wait to get the ball. So he wasn't getting the ball and I also you could see he's not really comfortable yet with asking for it, demanding it, getting that position in the post, getting his hand up. Like all these things he has to learn and he's going to have to learn on the fly, which is also scary because that can either make you or break you.
They don't get guys that have those kinds of fears, I think, for the most part. And I think that's something that the Heat scout with intention.
Yeah,
I think they, over most people, value a certain kind of mentality more than anything. And I think, and you guys have talked about this so much, summer league, they're not playing with a real point guard. You know what I mean? They're
Right.
playing with, well, they'll be playing with a point guard here where,
Right. Right.
Kyle can get you into your spots, even Jimmy and Bam, not that
Right.
they're point guards, but that they're offense organizers.
Right.
Right, Bon?
offensive. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of adjustments that have to be made.
Chat
Gee,
says
what are you
Jovic
laughing
runs like a duck.
at? he
He's
need.
still figuring his body out.
Yeah. He's like
He had like
Bambi.
a nine
He
inch
he
growth spurt
he.
really late.
He's like Bambi. It's like he can't really control his limbs. It's like he's on ice. It's just like a lot of things happening with that poor boy all at once. But I got faith in him. I
Yeah, I
I
think
think
he's gonna be all right.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
Is he starting at the four? No, he's not. Like
right.
he's not starting. Could we see him get some spot minutes? Probably. I
I
mean,
think so.
this is what we got. So unless somebody shows up and shows out, he might get a few minutes here and there.
Uh,
Yeah, I like, again, talking a bit about, just G, to his mentality, right? Like listening to his presser after the game and talking about how, he doesn't feel like he was, again, summer league. It's not the league, we all are aware of that, but there are some things that you worry about whether or not they translate from a European game
Mhm.
to an American game. American game is going to be more athletic, it's going to be quicker.
Physical.
it's also gonna
So
be it's also gonna be better space, and I know
it's
Lucas
going to
talked
be better
about this
space.
because of the
And
rules.
so
Hmm.
physical, yes, but physicality is probably the thing that European competition has, as equally kind of matched, or like that. Like the
They say
Europeans
it's
are
more
more
physical
posted.
because of
It
the
is more
rules.
physical.
Yeah,
Well,
They
but
are allowed. They are allowed
right,
more from
but there's a
offense.
difference. But
There
there's a
is
difference, and
right.
and Shy, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the difference in the physicality between.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes, and
between
so
soft white guys and
no,
and for
doughy.
for real, for real, keeping it where it's at. Like, but he spoke about not feeling like he was being out muscled, but understands that like he has to get his feet quicker, right?
hmm
Those things. And I like the way that he kind of spoke about, it is a transition from a different, different country, different position, just a whole lot of newness for him. But I think that kid can, I think he's going to be all right, like you said. And but
He'll put on weight too.
he'll
and
be
he will.
fine.
He has a frame that
Yeah,
can sustain it.
but he's not honestly. If somebody said, Tiff, how many worries do you have?
Oh yeah, he's
Uh,
not one of them.
He's not one of them. Like
Right.
whatever happens with him this year is whatever happens with him this
Yeah.
year, because there's what do there should be no
The
expectations.
problem
Whatever
is
he
that they
gives you
need
is
production from that position.
From that spot, and
Yeah,
that's what
right.
they
But
yeah.
that's the thing. Like I still am saying I'm not turning to him until I give these other guys an opportunity. Like there's no way he should get this a opportunity over Highsmith.
Right. And then people can argue, well, then why would you not go with someone at that spot, knowing that that is where we need production that can give it to you right now?
I think they took best player available at that point.
Yeah.
Alf saying Duncan gives you 12 solid points per game.
And
Duncan,
six fouls.
in 6 fouls in the first 2 minutes. I would love for Duncan to be able to be on the floor more. I think
And
Duncan.
not for nothing. Let's just really quick. I know let's just indulge Alf really quickly because we're gonna get it out and get it
It's
over with.
fine.
If Duncan could actually stay out of foul trouble
He would help.
with his length, he would actually help at the four. If he could move his feet and keep his hands to himself, damn it,
Get some
G,
balance about
he
it.
would actually be helpful at the four.
Alf saying 6'8", the new Shane Battier. Get
Shane
his
was a
name
great
out your
defender.
mouth. Keep
Hello, Alf.
my power forward's name out your fucking mouth.
All right, man. Damn.
Damn.
It was a joke.
Joe.
Ooh.
But you know what's funny about Duncan at the four? When he plays the four, like okay, like he has to be playing with another wing. That other wing is just going to be more suited to guarding the four. So in reality, he'd
Exactly.
never
Jimmy.
actually play the four.
No, it's Jimmy.
Or Caleb or whatever poor
Right.
sucker they put out there.
Poor Gabe
The
under the
mechanic.
basket, just getting smashed.
Gabe under here like this, like a fat baby trying to do something.
I'll tell you now, I trust Gabe to guard force over Duncan. Push the ass, Gabe.
Here, my brother, how you feel about
If Gabe fouls, I feel better about it because I know it's because Gabe tried. When Duncan fouls, because he
about
fucked
just
up.
undisciplined?
I love you, Dunk.
Bad physiology.
Dunk's our coworker.
I love you, Dunk.
I love Dunk. He's our coworker here at Blue Wire. Shout out to Blue Wire. Shout out to Duncan.
Oh.
Although the long shot's dead to me. They had Grant Williams on, and to me that's a tradable offense. I'm not gonna lie. Duncan Robinson having Grant Williams of all people, Grant Williams of all the Celtics, I think
all
the
the
only
Celtics.
worst one is Marcus Smart to have on.
Probably. Yeah, Peyton Pritchard somewhere.
Oh no, yeah, no Pritchard.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's public.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pritchard's the worst.
Yeah, I know because he hurt Jimmy. He hurt Jimmy and a couple federal officers on January 6th.
Shout out.
We're back, baby. We're back.
So he was dressed as Spider-Man climbing the wall. Choo choo.
Oh my god. Yeah, chat saying that Williams is pretty bad. Pritchard threw a water bottle like Kyrie. Oh, Pritchard threw that water bottle like Kyrie.
He's a,
I was about to say that man is hexed for life. What?
What happened with Kyrie on the water bottle? Was this something at the?
oh,
the Drew League?
remember? No, that was that last season? I think they
Oh,
were
at
in
the-
Boston,
at
and
the
somebody
game.
from the crowd threw the water bottle at Kyrie as he walked off the court.
Oh man, it was Peyton.
They said it's Peyton Pritchard. It was actually Gordon Hayward.
All right.
Cordy.
Big brother.
So yeah, so that to me has been like the central question of the season because I think with Miami, I think sometimes people, and I'm curious as to what you guys think. A lot is talked about internal improvement, and let's be honest. I mean, the Heat haven't done anything right this offseason, and in their defense, there wasn't much to be done. I don't think that they weren't going to be in the game for a guy like Brogdon. Right, they just didn't have the rotational space for a guard like that. They were just, maybe they could have, if they wanted Collins, they could have been in. But I know, he's a divisive guy. I know Tiff and I aren't big on him. Then you gotta pay. There's so there were, you can really talk yourself into there weren't a ton of moves to be made, and I think for them, and I think you and I have agreed on this. They're gonna do something in the season. And I think what they're going to do is that they're going to say, okay, we're just going to run what we have. We're going to give a couple of these young guys a shot in preseason to see if they can give us something at the four. And then we're going to look around and we're going to see who we can get. We have picks. We have stuff to move. And we can get a guy and we'll wait out the Mitchell and the KD, situation.
Right.
And I think that's how they're going to approach the season. I don't think it's the worst thing. I think fans wanted a bigger splash, but I think sometimes it's the moves you don't make to give yourself some flexibility. I wonder how you guys feel. First Tiff, then we'll go to Bond.
Um, I mean, I was a component of at some point, if there's a four that's out there that, there's not a great four that's out there to be had. But if there's a decent four out there to be had, I'm not, I don't, I'm a, I just feel like you make that move. I don't know, because my concern is with the age of this team, with the injuries that all these players have had over the last couple of years.
Right.
Um, if you're coming back with this, and no shade, no Sade to Highsmith, but
No
like,
Sade.
if we're running this
Hey,
right, we're running this back with these guys. Where are we going to be at the trade deadline? And what is that? February? When is the trade deadline?
Yeah, February.
See, that's my biggest thing.
yep.
If you sat here and told me there would be minor to no injuries, hey, run it, run it. But I just feel like we have guys who automatically are going to miss 15 to 25 games. Like, that's just how I
Happened
feel.
last season, and they were able to stay above water. But you don't
Right,
don't bet on
but
that.
And that's the
exactly.
thing.
And
I
that's
that's what's happening. I feel like there's been too much betting on.
yeah,
Well, we were able to do it last season, and like, yeah, and to some people it felt convincingly one way, and to
right,
some it may have felt with a little bit like, we got here, but like it
right,
doesn't feel all the way kind of secure, and so you are, at this kind of stage in the game, that is probably the course that they're going to take, right? Hoping that whoever does what internally is enough to, if what I'm hearing be the point, like sustain you to even get to trade deadline, and so that
right,
you're in like decent enough position going into the back half of the season, and then maybe you can switch some stuff up. I was a proponent of John Collins. I get, people probably think he's a dickhead, he's a bonehead, he doesn't do this, that, or whatever. I'm always someone that looks at um, kind of the parts of a guy, and what I feel like, because if then that's the thing too, like heat culture, we're this group that can get, and there's been a lot of talk about like not liking that that's a narrative, but we've talked here that some of it is a bit, at least I feel some of the culture stuff can be a bit annoying, but there is some truth to that. Guys come here and they find either themselves maximized in a way that they haven't been, or just
mhm,
like faced with a different way of doing things and
right,
wanting to buy into something that feels really official
right,
and new, or about it, right? So I thought someone like a Collins would have been kind of a cool move. Tiff, you and I talked about, again, people have feelings about flat Earth and what he's about, but like, just I think that that's something that's still on the table. That I hope that Miami is actually giving a decent look at. I think that gives you some juice in your kind of guardish area. That's a 3 level guy. And he doesn't cost you what a Kevin cost you. Doesn't cost you what a Donovan cost you. Just I understand people wanting there to have been, something done. But I get, from Miami's standpoint, playing it this way. I don't know if there was anything in the middle. Maybe this is the middle.
I think
But
Collins is
I,
the middle. I think,
I think Collins. I honestly think the
right.
Collins move would
And
have would have been the middle.
but
And the thing too, and the rest of the East is getting better also. Um, or I don't know if it comes together to being better on the floor, but there are moves being made. If we're getting better internally, other people are getting better internally. Other people are adding to kind of what it is that they do. So I understand a little bit, I guess, of some of the angst of like, haven't really done anything.
right.
But I get from them like we kind of just gotta hold fort where we're at for a second and hope we can get off to a good first half
Tiff, let
start.
me ask Bond one follow up first.
Mhm.
Bond. So let's say they do a deal for Collins, and that
Mm.
exhausts Duncan because that's the salary piece to match, and you exhaust probably your draft equity or a part of your draft equity, which
Okay.
pretty much takes you out of the game for anybody better. Is
Okay.
Collins enough that you're title ready?
I think So honestly, I think just with regards to some new juice, some new life, some new legs, maybe some new energy, and allowing that to, or and that allowing some of the other pieces to do other things that point toward internal growth without having to still be saddled with carrying the whole defense or carrying the
But
whole
he's
like
not like
what.
a
But
defender guy. Yeah,
he's
I
not,
get what
and
you're
I
saying. I get what you're saying.
but I think that there's stuff that we can do with him there to make him a better defender, right? He's a crazy athlete. We made Duncan Robinson a better defender. We made, Max. And I know that that's the argument for Donovan and all that stuff too. But I don't know that it makes you title ready, but I do feel like it is a boost, me personally.
It's it's interesting. Because if you have okay, so you got Donovan and you got KD on the table. So realistically, you'd like to have KD, Bam, and Jimmy. Like
Yes.
that's the goal because obviously if you're moving Bam, then you're moving the defense like that. You're
No,
because you're
you
not going to get a
change the
better.
def.
You're
You're
moving
Well,
some. This is that too. You're moving what your current defense
yeah.
is.
right.
That doesn't
Well,
mean
well,
you
and
can't do
also,
it.
but we don't know what's see, and these are all the things because you don't
Right.
know what's left, right?
Right. I would
So,
take Ben back. Just saying,
so you're
different
so,
conversation.
but the thing is that
They can't like
honestly,
live
KD is
with salaries
yeah,
like this.
KD is the only one that you can look at and say can make us title ready.
I think
Yeah,
Mitchell does. You don't think
I
Mitchell
don't think
does?
so.
I
You don't
don't.
think
No,
you
I
I
don't think if
genuinely
they
don't.
have
I don't.
Mitchell instead of Hero, they
But
But
it's everything else that we're losing. I honestly
but what are
don't.
you
Especially if
losing?
they
What are
move.
you losing
well,
in
you
the
don't know,
Mitchell
and
deal?
but these are the things
That's
you
it.
don't know.
The market has been set with Rudy, and that went for whatever. And I really don't.
So
So
you
I
lose
don't
the
think
draft
Donovan is worth
equity.
the
You
conversation.
lose
You do.
you
You lose.
lose
You're gonna lose
Jovic,
players too.
Highsmith, right? Like the dudes, the flyer guys, right?
I
Because
don't know.
like
I think you lose a Max or a Gabe, if not
that's
both.
not that but that doesn't make a difference because those guys are on such small contracts that to re-sign them, if you're a rebuilding team like Utah, you don't want minimum contracts that are about to expire. That doesn't serve them because that unless like you know that they want to flip them again, which is unlikely because as we know, it's just difficult to flip guys. So those kinds of guys in a deal like to Utah, because if they move Mitchell, they're just totally rebuilding, and at that point,
Right.
you just want okay, I want mid-sized contracts to move so I can become a salary dumping place that I can get picks like Oklahoma City. So like I don't think guys like Vincent, like Max, are in those deals because they're just gonna come for a minimum. Why the fuck do I want to sign this guy for more money? I'm not trying to win games like that. And they leave. So like those guys aren't as valuable as like you bring in a young guy that has years on the deal and you're like, all right, let's build something with these guys.
Right. But either way, regardless of what you're giving up,
Yeah.
and I don't look at him and go, he takes us over the top.
I don't.
They were
I
close
can
though,
be wrong.
Tiff.
And that is where I'm about to go, G. This is where I'm about to go. Yes, they were close. You need someone who can give you a consistent 15 between 15 to 25 points a night.
That's a
You
big
need some
range.
15
15 to
between
25?
15, yes.
That's,
Like that's
but
what you
those
need.
are different players. 15 and 25 are different players.
But gee, it's the consistency that they didn't have.
I mean,
Like that, right? But
Mitchell's a
but what
scorer.
I'm
Yeah,
but you're not thinking about what I'm saying because the obvious is you might not get either one of them.
for sure. Likely.
So you just exactly. So you need someone that's a steady player who can consistently get points, who plays adequate defense, who can use the lump 3 feet above their ass. Like that's what you need. Like there's no guarantee I need to just blow it up and grab KD.
Yeah.
If you're the Heat, maybe they want to keep these guys. Maybe oh yeah, we want KD, but if we don't get KD, maybe we want to like keep these guys and add so and
I'm
so.
I'm still looking at like you. We still Harry B is still someone who I think gives them that
Right.
consistent. Real,
If
it's
he's on the
Sacramento like
table,
Keegan. Sacramento got people who they need to get some time to
minutes
see
for.
what they
Yep.
really have. Like I think stuff like that will
CG,
be
like
what
that's a
smooths it.
move where
at the midway.
Because it doesn't
you
gut you,
keep
is what you're saying.
It
exactly.
doesn't gut you,
It
and it
doesn't
does
gut
give you
you.
something significant.
Exactly.
I guess where
Like
we just differ is I don't think the Donovan deal guts you. I think it just guts you for like
I don't think it should, but I
I
think
don't
they're
right.
playing the ball that they want to
they don't
play.
even
So if you,
want RJ Barrett because they don't want to pay him. You know what I mean? That was something
I
that
mean,
was
they just
reported
don't
as
want
well.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah, but like I guess and like that's a rhetorical thing. But just like if they,
Right.
I guess the just the point of the conversation is, like they're close. So it's like how much can you split the baby to get the guy that you need in here to
I
bring them over the top? I think that guy's Harry B.
you
I
need a
think the
four
worst guy that you can
you need a
get,
four that can score.
yeah, which is
yeah,
Barnes or
I think you need a I
or
I think you
Collins or
need a
something, yeah.
four that can score.
Or KD.
That's
Yeah,
what you need. Yeah, or
I
KD.
mean
But that's what I think you need. You got guards galore. Like
galore.
you got to figure that part out on your own. Like you need a four that can score, and then you need to tell Max, Vic, and Tyler, go work it out.
battle to the death,
Battle
and
to
the
the death.
baddest bitch comes out on top.
Exactly. Leave it on the floor.
Hey, you need to do what needs to be done.
Exactly. That's it.
But
You
and
you're
I'm
set.
not worried about our guard rotation. Really, yeah,
No.
they got to get something good
I don't think
down there.
I think the KD thing is complicated for them. The other thing is that I think is
In what
ridiculous.
way? What?
Why do you think it's
In what
complicated?
way?
Complicated
'Cause I
and
agree.
complicated in the way because I just don't think they have they don't have the trade package that's attractive enough. And come January 15th, Phoenix is just gonna have the best package. Because
Yeah.
once you can include Ayton and January 15th, Phoenix has the best
Well,
package.
but
So if you're
doesn't Aiden have to sign off on that?
no, January as of January 15th, he's tradable. Beal's
No,
Beal's the guy that got the no trade clause. I don't know what Washington
He has
was
a
thinking.
year.
No,
Doesn't
it's
Aiden
until
has a year where he can veto his trade? I believe.
I thought so too.
I believe.
I
he
think
does.
he's gonna want to get out of Phoenix. I
But
don't.
he ain't going to Brooklyn.
Huh?
Ain't nobody going to.
He was
Brooklyn.
about to go to Indiana.
and because look who he could play with.
Who?
I'd go play with what's his name, Halliburton. Like
They're trying to
I'd
move
go
the
to
other guy.
Indiana.
Like they're blowing that up too.
he don't want to go to Brooklyn.
I don't. I think that he'd rather live in New York and be the number one option on the team because he wants to. I mean, he said he wants to show that he could do more. I mean, he was gonna go to fucking Indiana. Like I don't know. He could go play with Kyrie in Brooklyn or whatever they
Kyrie
moved
ain't
Kyrie
gonna
for.
be there.
You can flip Kyrie for this.
Kyrie ain't go-
Regardless,
Kyrie don't live here anymore.
KD has 4 years left on his deal, and if Brooklyn doesn't want to move him, like
They don't have to.
The Miami's deal is just like unless Tyler Hero again like takes another step this season and is averaging like 20 something points a game on really good shoot. Even then, I don't know if that's gonna whet Brooklyn's appetite. But Bond, the deal's complicated because of that. I think trading Lowry is just complicated. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think Riley will make the call to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how good someone else is. Like if my fucking best friend gets traded, you know, the godfather of my kid, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be happy. Lowry wasn't happy when DeMar got moved for Kawhi.
Yeah, they had been together for like sizable amounts of years, and like Jimmy and Kyle are gonna have their relationship outside of whether or not they both play.
Yeah, but Jimmy told him to
Miami.
come here. It's like you tell your
And no.
and now I'm
just,
fucking in.
Right.
This is like
and
that's
I'm
not what I
signing
signed
off.
up for. You know what I mean?
I know, and which is why I don't know. I don't believe Kyle gets moved because of the off of the court, complexities, like you said.
But they'll do it if they have to. Like if
No, they'll do it.
Riley will do it. It's just complicated. And then
it's not a easy one for
No.
one. Okay, give me Kyrie, I'll give you Kyle.
yeah, exactly. And
Although
then
Jimmy and Kyrie do have relationships, I know it's not.
I just think it's like at the end of the day, everybody wants whales, and I feel like we just overthink all of it to the extreme, where it's just like realistically, like Kyle's not going anywhere. He's going to be the starting. He's not going anywhere. I believe.
And honestly, if he can maintain this shape and we
Exactly.
talk about injuries, if he can
stay in shape,
and keep himself healthy, I'm intrigued
Exactly.
by what this version of Kyle looks like. I want
now
to
we're
see Bam
talking,
have
Bond.
exactly.
Relax, cool out.
Right.
I
Right.
want to see Bam have taken a step. I want to see Tyler be the person that I genuinely believe Tyler would have helped us win that Boston series. Had he just not been so objectively bad like
And he
through
got
the
hurt.
whole rest of the playoffs. He
He
got
was
hurt, but
bad
he was
before he got
already
He
hurt.
was
bad.
bad before
Before he
he
got
got
hurt,
And
hurt.
that's the context that's missing. Oh, he was playing hurt. Yeah, he got hurt. That motherfucker was bad before then. It's okay to say it. So I want the guys internally to improve in a way that banking on internal growth is justified. But you don't know until you see it.
Couple things, because I want to get to something in chat. The other complicated aspect is the Bam and Simmons part, and I don't think Bam is on the table for Durant. I
No.
don't think that there's a precedent for trading, because Bam's not like a young guy with potential. Bam's a bona fide young star, and I don't think
And
there's a
with
lot of
potential.
precedent for an established young star to get moved in deals like this. If you can show me one, please show me. But the idea of like Miami has to include Bam, I was like, show me when that's ever happened. A guy
Well,
that's
if you are looking at Bam as being like already developed, I think there's
no, he
still
could get
enough.
better, but like
I know, and I think enough so that he could still be considered, one of the young stars that still, has room to
yeah,
like
he's a
he's not
blue
a
chip.
finished
He's a
product
blue
yet.
chip. He's probably one of the most wanted young players in the league under 25, like 25 and under, or wherever, however old he is. Tiff, were you gonna say something?
No, I just think no, he's not on the table. But like, if you're the Nets, you're supposed to
Yeah, you
ask for
have
him.
to, but
Like that's how it works.
and you
Like
hang up the
you
phone if
want
you're Riley. Yeah,
exactly. So like Kevin Durant is phenomenal.
Yeah,
And yes, I would take him on this team in a heartbeat. But there's also that logical side of me that looks at Kevin Durant and says, "You've been injured the last 3 years. You're also kind of a malcontent when it comes to, are you happy here? Do you want to be here?" Like, there's so many other things outside of just the great basketball player when it
of
comes to
course,
business,
of course.
because you can get him and 6 months later, he's not happy.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
I don't think the
Yeah.
situation here would play like that because
You can't say
no, you
that
can't say for sure. It would
because he's the one player that you have no idea what's going on up there.
him and
But I
Kyrie, his teammates, the other one.
No, we know what's going up there in Kyrie.
listen. I think. Look, you didn't see the video of Kyrie and damn Jimmy jamming out on the damn Team
Exactly.
Olympic. Like them maybe some of their similar screws are loose. But I think that just Pat got in a room with Kevin before, right? This idea that like Kevin would welcome being in the room with him again. Like I think
Spo is the guy there to Bon, and that was reported on by
No,
Levitard and others that the one that Durant walked away with, whoa, was Spo.
love
no,
that. See,
and
and
I
like,
believe it.
what
But
can
all
this guy
those
do for you?
things, but I believe it. I believe Spo can get him in the room. I believe Spo can get him to say, "I want to come to Miami." But I also know when people show you who they are,
Listen,
believe them. And he's shown us every time who he really is. The littlest things make him unhappy.
Mm,
I think you still
And
just
but that's okay to say.
yeah,
He's
yes,
petulant at times. Like, let's not act like he's not,
for
because
sure.
he is petulant. Like,
yes.
that's what it is. So, like I said, if they called and said, "You can keep Bam and Jimmy, but load up the truck," we loading up the truck
We
because
loaded up
that's
the
I
what
truck.
you're
agree.
gonna do. But at the same time, you have to be aware that he could wake up on a Tuesday and say, "I don't want to be here."
And I don't think that this organization makes that move if they have any inkling that like. And I know you can never like people can make their mind and are free to change their mind at any point with you know no discretion, no explanation. But I understanding what it would cost. I don't foresee this organization doing that if they had any idea that or any thought that 8 months down the road, hell, a year
Right.
down the road.
Well, and that's how I look at it. A year down the road, if things didn't work out the first year, he could say he wants to leave, which
So
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocking.
the Heat don't have a huge track record of disgruntled stars leaving them. And when it has happened, Riley breaks up with them first. Shaq, Shaq was over the hill. LeBron is really the only one, and LeBron didn't make the mess, played out his contract, got to the finals. But I think that was a very unique circumstance.
He made a mess when he eventually did leave. Not returning the man's call. Them niggas flew out to Vegas to sit with him.
He did that to humiliate them. The stuff
he's messy. He's messy.
The Kyle, don't you remember Kyle wanted to be here, and Kyle and Pau Gasol are like, "Are you gonna be there?" And he's like, "I don't know," and like he dragged it out for so long that the market dried out. They used the picks on the guys that he liked.
Yep.
And that shit was
Jabaz Napier
was Carthage was the Romans going to Carthage and putting salt after they destroyed the fucking place. That's what this man did. This man came in here, wrecked everything, threw salt everywhere so nothing can grow, and left.
Right. I'm out of here.
And then sprouted Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson. Now we have Jimmy. But just better.
Look at that.
So yeah, and then the last thing is the Ben complications of even if they did move Bam, the rookie weird rule that Bam and Bam can't be on the same team. Indiana was I
would take them back.
But
I know Bam's not on the table.
No, but even if Bam was Bond, you can't take back Durant and Simmons because then you don't have enough
money-wise.
Yeah, money-wise. So you need a third team, and Indiana was like, this is the third team that makes sense. And now, probably not anymore. After what they've done. So now it's like, well, who's the third team? And that part gets complicated. And I'm like, okay, who wants Ben at this salary?
That's the question.
And
which team wants him?
Somebody might want him, and he plays and he rehabs his image. He's obviously at a point is a really good basketball player. He's a very flawed basketball player, but he's really good. It's just, are you sure he's gonna play basketball again?
Well, we don't know. We don't know the status of his scans. Yeah, we don't know
what that back do.
Right, we don't know what's going on with his back. We don't know if he's comfortable yet with his mental health.
He did pass the physical to get traded, but
look at how that worked out. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So there's other stuff at play.
If he's healthy, a lot of teams.
Well, healthy is a loaded term because healthy is not just in the body. But in your mind.
No, I mean healthy. Yeah. I mean head to toe.
And they may not want to get rid of. I mean, if Bam comes back in a deal, of course you try to get rid of Ben and you keep the more sure thing. But I think if Bam's not just on the deal, like you want to keep Ben and then you just build young if you can get him on the court. Which, by the way, like a Nate and Ben pick and roll sounds kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like if you can get that going, and that's how, and then they did trade the pick for Royce O'Neal, which is still really weird that they did that. Yeah, they did. And, they have Joe Harris. So they can they don't have any picks. So they're going to try to win ball games, maybe not contending, but they're going to try to win ball games. So, whatever. So that's that on the Durant stuff.
It's
listen,
it's Highsmith season, baby.
Darius Days, whoever he is. I have a question for both of you. Siobhan, you first, and Tiff. If Darius Days was standing behind you at a Starbucks, would you know it's him?
I hope I don't sound ridiculous.
Sorry to this man.
What about if Highsmith was behind you at a Starbucks?
I'd probably recognize thick chest Haywood.
I wouldn't know him. I would not know him.
I ain't gonna lie.
Sorry
to that man.
I might recognize thick chest Haywood.
What about
I won't know until they yell out his name for his drink.
But it's always going to be mispronounced.
Right.
You won't know.
Hi-ish, hi-mish, hi-smith.
Hamish, it's for you.
See, if this is hot, Brass for sure photoshops a bad name like in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
That's the difference.
Hamish is fucking hilarious.
It's Hamish. It's Hamish Haywood now.
Would you know? I think I know Javonte Smart. He's just a very you can't miss him. He has a very distinct look.
I'd ask that motherfucker to get out of line. I don't want you.
And I don't want him holding my drink either. Don't hold nothing because you either gonna drop it.
If it's a fire drill in here, you better say something, you selfish mother. You better
right. He the only one running out the door
quietly.
Do you know what Mulder looks like?
I know what Scully looks like.
A Mulder looks like every electrician in Miami. It's crazy.
Wait, does he have curly hair?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I know what Kyle Allman and Drew Smith look like.
I know what Kyle
Who's
Allman
Drew
look like
Smith?
though. I don't know who
Drew
Drew
Smith,
Smith
the
is.
little guard, number 5, I think. I love his game. I love the way he
Is he
handles his
ours?
body. I don't. He was on the summer league team. I don't
Oh,
know
I
what
did
we're
not
doing
watch
with
a
him
minute
after.
of summer league. Let me tell you something. I was in not to. This is not to brag. Oh, Mulder got waived. Okay, well, never mind.
Mulder's like 30.
I was enjoying a cocktail on the Mediterranean Sea, and I looked up my phone and I saw people tweeting about summer league, and I thought, man, I'm so glad I'm not watching fucking summer league right.
He said, "Oh, you peasants, I'm up here picking my
A
toes."
little gin and
Right.
tonic in the Mediterranean Sea.
Right.
Gee,
Beautiful.
ain't none of them dudes coming. How many dudes coming to the how many dudes coming to the big leagues from summer league this year?
I don't
Who we
even
got?
know how summer league
Highsmith,
is scheduled, how it's structured.
Highsmith doesn't count. He was already here.
We got Hamish.
Hamish
Who else we got?
Highwood. Hamish
Who-
Highwood.
Who else we got?
I don't know. I think that one of the guard. Well, see, it depends. What's moving?
None of
What's
those
coming
go.
out?
Ain't none of those guards coming unless we get rid of some.
That's what I mean. What's going? What's coming out? That's the only way that happens.
Who is Aaron
It's-
Wheeler? That's a fake name.
Yeah, that ain't even sound real.
Aaron Wheeler. I'm reading. Okay, Orlando. Do you know what Orlando? Siobhan knows what Orlando Robinson looks like. Tiff, do you?
Yes.
Sorry to that man.
I'm seeing him for the first time right now. Interesting, fascinating.
Interesting.
I don't know what any of those young guys look like.
A Bryce Hamilton? That sounds like
that
a
sound
baseball
fake.
player.
I don't
Right?
know her.
He sounds white, and he's
I
not.
don't
That's
know.
crazy. If you
He
had
probably
told me,
mixed. He sounds
He's
mixed.
definitely mixed. He got to be mixed.
That name, he mixed.
Bryce
Bryce.
Hamilton.
Bryce Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
I don't know her.
I think I can
Yeah.
only pick out Garrett and Jovic from this summer league team, and I can't even pick out I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't be able to pick out Jovic.
Come on, Slim
Where
Nicky.
are you at that you just run into a bunch
Right.
of motherfuckers that look like him?
On South
Right.
Beach.
I'm
That
asking.
look-
Is that
I've been on South Beach.
These Eastern Europeans, they're here, man. They're all here.
With the loafers.
There's a lot of fucking Russian yachts here. I'm telling you, there's a lot of oligarchs that left and are here with their
Yes,
yachts, and there's a lot of. Listen, when Dragic played, there would be like a Slovenian contingent at the arena.
Yeah.
Hey, I can see that though.
Those dudes are fun.
Mhm.
Gee,
and
none
they
of
can
them,
drink.
None of them making an imprint this year.
We have
Maybe
to,
Hamish. That's it. No, nobody else is. I'm sorry. Sorry to those men, but like realistically, we guard deep. We need a 4, and Hamish is that's about it.
What else Kiki said? And who the hell is he? Who the hell are they?
Because come on, they not coming up. They ain't coming up.
Many.
But-
Somebody asked if I've tried aviation gin. I have. Ryan, it is great. Oh, also Ryan, hold on. You said some shit earlier, and I meant to read it. Hold on, I bookmarked it. Ryan said anything besides Jimmy, Bam, Gabe, or Struce for KD. Sooner or later, Brooklyn bites. And Ryan, subscribe with Prime. I marked that, Ryan. That was for you.
I heard
dog.
that, Ryan. Hold on, G. Let me just chime in. Ryan, you get this because I heard you say Struce.
I heard Gabe, so I'll give one too.
You get this.
Shout out to the.
No, really, like I would unload everything. But
I already said if they trade Struce, me and Brass gonna have to like do the nastiest edits for me.
listen, if they let go of Gabe, I'm starting Pelicans beat. So it's just
I'm
where
following
we're at.
Max.
It's over.
I'm following Max. So if Max go to Brooklyn,
What's
So-
What's
sorry.
the Blue Wire? What's the Blue Wire Pelicans? A corresponding podcast. Maybe we can work out a deal.
Listen, I need a transfer.
you need a transfer.
Bond's gonna go to HR. Excuse me, Kevin.
Too bad.
You're like
Too bad.
American
G. Too bad. G
American
is
Express.
HR.
Bond's gonna call the fucking CEO. Kevin Jones. Excuse me. You're gonna become a Karen. I'd like to request a transfer.
Listen,
I would like to
can't
talk
go
about
where
Brandon
they're
Ingram,
going.
please.
Can I speak to your manager?
Hold on, before we go. Bob, before we go, last thing I wanted to ask this because I listened to Zach Lowe and I forgot who asked. I think Zach asked, would you rather, or somebody asked Zach, would you rather have Mitchell or Brandon Ingram? And I thought, Bond, yeah, I literally thought of
Oh,
You would have been
what?
burning the house,
bro,
down.
you would have been
I
so
just
fucking
got, like,
insulted.
hot. I don't even have a temperature. I feel like I just spiked one. What the
You
fuck
got
is
a fever
that?
again.
Like, that is rude. The
I
Brandon Ingram slander is out of control.
I probably take Bi. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna
That's
lie
character
either.
development for me.
I'll take
It
Bi
is.
too.
Yeah, it is. You told me that motherfucker doesn't affect winning.
I did.
I'd never
I said that
forget.
about Zach LaVine too. I still kind of think that about Zach LaVine.
It's a little yet to be seen.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Brandon Stamp.
I'll take. And you know how I felt about Bi. I'll take him.
I like Bi because
Listen,
Bi doesn't have to be the number one option.
No,
I've wanted him since his
And he
second
could
year.
just
If we
score.
ever
He could just
got
vibe.
Brandon Ingram, Miami, oh my god,
He's
I'd be
such a
so
Bond
happy.
player because
Exactly.
you
He's
love
just
players
there.
that vibe
He-
on offense.
We just cool, man. We're not trying to do too much. I'm out here. I'm hooping.
You got to
leaving
open his
alone.
eyes more though.
Yeah, baby looks high all the time.
Always, dude. Always.
maybe he is.
Hey,
That'd be fucked up if he
Hey.
if he's like never gets high and like he's like always looks high. He'd be like, man,
He's always-
I'm not even like that.
I don't
He
even.
just looks tired as hell.
I can't even roll. Like, leave me alone.
He tired.
He's sick of all the haters.
He been carrying the Pelicans for 2 seasons. He tired.
Right.
Zion's fat ass
Carrying
coming
the
back.
slander of Kyle.
Get that
Kuzma.
man some help.
Oh, they got him. CJ, we in there. Zion is ready. We got 18 different forwards. We're good.
You saw CJ going on TV and just saying like, yeah, so the Kings told me they were gonna pick me, and then they didn't pick me. They picked some other dude, and he's like, yeah. And they also called Dame, and they told Dame that they were gonna pick him, and then they picked somebody else, and like both picks were just bad picks, obviously.
Well,
Bro,
Sacramento's gonna
Sacramento has never done anything right.
I ain't
Did
never
you see that
ever.
stuff that said no active NBA?
Yes.
Bro, I was
What?
like, damn, was the Lakers
Yo.
series that old, that long ago? I was like, goddamn, that's like
Yes.
20 years
I'm-
ago.
Who's the
Yes.
oldest? Who's the oldest active NBA player right now?
Udonis.
It gotta be UD.
Udonis.
Right, it's gotta be UD. Man,
LeBron,
Yo, the
LeBron
Kings-
might be. Oh, Melo probably
Ah.
second.
We about to
Deadman
sign
looks
Melo.
like he'd be second.
we about to sign Melo.
We about to sign Melo.
Honestly, I do it just to get Nikias mad, just because we can have Melo and UD on the same team. It's like Nikias' worst nightmare.
So
The
Iggy is
Kings.
37. Carmelo's 37. Iggy never played against Sacramento in the playoffs. I guess.
No, he was on the
None
East.
of them.
He was on the East. He was a
He was
Sixer.
in the East. Yep.
AI and
Udonis
AI.
is 41. Joe Johnson is 40.
Joe Johnson's not in the league. Get out of
He ain't in
here.
the league, and he
I
with the
know.
big 3.
Yeah.
Yo, the Sacramento Kings are fucking Charlie Brown. It's like every year the league put that football down in front of them and just pull it away. It's just like-
I mean, let me be honest with you. Minnesota is not too far behind them. They've gotten their shit together last year, but like
They're on the
Zach
come up.
Harper said, "Do you know how great Jimmy Butler is? He made it, and Zach Harper famously, grew up a Timberwolves fan. He made this loser franchise a winner for 2 years. That's how good Jimmy Butler is, and he's right."
He
He
is.
is correct.
He is right.
Miss you, Jimmy. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today on the program. I miss doing this with my
Anything else
friends. I
happen?
miss talking to both of y'all. It's been real. It's not enough just to see
Trying
your
to
names in
think.
a group chat.
Has there been anything else significant or worthy of discussion?
Listen, we have a couple internal announcements that we're gonna do soon. Those are pretty big, but we'll save that for a later day. In terms of basketball, I think for Miami wise, no, Harden signed a new deal, 2 years with a player option. Who cares? Heat and 5, they don't scare me. PJ went to go play with a dude with a neck beard that cries if the media doesn't like him. So I mean, that's not. I'm not. Getting that news. I get the news that he leaves. I'm a little drunk. I'm walking home. I'm trying to find my hotel in Milan. I don't know where I'm going. My friend has his battery's dead. I'm just straight up lost in the city, and I have very rudimentary Italian. And I look at my phone with the little battery I have left, and I choose to tweet angry things about PJ Tucker because he
Your
left to
phone
go play
died.
with Embiid. Yeah, then
He
my phone
chose
died.
violence.
My phone did die, and my friend goes, "Was that worth it?" And I said, "Yeah, actually was. Yeah, it was."
Yeah, I can feel that way.
I know.
Rockets East.
It is Rockets East. I'm telling you.
You said they're trying to go get Eric Gordon too?
Yeah, they were trying to at one point. They were.
Hold on
So they,
You know, I
Also-
fuck Tibbs and fuck what's that guy's name? What's the fucking
Del Morey?
Yeah,
Daryl
Morey.
Morey?
I was gonna say Fuck them. All they try to do is just bring everybody back. They'll get the old gang back together. Have some fucking
Go get
creativity.
them. Give me Toby. Give me Toby for cheap. I
Bro,
will take Toby.
Tibbs is going to be having fucking 60-year-old Taj Gibson on his roster like forever. Like, it's Tibbs and Taj Gibson like forever. I'm sick of it.
Tibbs and Taj. Dirk
Let
and
them
Dame.
get the gang back together if they want. I mean, we got the gang back together.
Miami Heat beat back weekly. We'll see you next week. Our faces, our announcements. We have tons of cool stuff planned for the season. We'll patchwork content. I love y'all. From myself, Tiff Bond.
Also, I need a new jersey so I can take PJ's jersey down and sign.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like PJ
Take that trainer out of here. You want to put duct
Listen,
tape?
Carla Tiana, if Gabe is out,
I know.
we got to do the American Express jersey exchange.